Recording.
Recording. Welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our community awareness event. And I want to introduce our team leader in the Tampa Bay area. This young man has been working in network marketing industry for over 30 years. He's passionate about his awareness, about our awareness campaign, and he will share his story. He leads with integrity, commitment, innovation. He has an awesome work ethic, exceptional leadership skills, and he is authentic. So at this time, I'd like to bring to the front our leader, Greg Sistrom.
All right. Thank you, Jacqueline. Get a little volume in there. How's everybody doing this morning?
Awesome.
Okay, good. Again, like Jacqueline said, y'all, I want to welcome y'all to our very first community awareness event. And what we're going to be doing is sharing some information in reference to Inspire the company, the actual campaign that we're on, which is, making people aware. And then also, we're going to get a product demonstration in so that you can actually see, how to do these, and as well as, to see the validation of how the Cherish works. What I'm going to start off with is just talking about Inspire the company. They've been around right at about a year now, we'll say, officially launched in May of 2017. And since that time, the company's just been growing by leaps and bounds. And they're giving us distributors an opportunity to get out here and partake and benefit from, what the company's objectives are in terms of, helping people globally. The campaign is informing men and women all over the world about the harmful effects that the current sanitary napkins and tampons have on a woman's body. And we like to say our product, Cherish, is the more healthier alternative. And what we do to validate that is actually give it to people free. I mean, it's just nothing too much better than that. And Jacqueline and I have been out here from, I'll just say February, when I was first exposed to the business, through July, when we actually finally got product in our hand, doing nothing but sharing the campaign, the information. And that's the true way you want to grow your business, as well as, your distributors, letting them know to always lead with just making people aware. And then once they get that piece and they get that actual product and they're validated by it, then the results will speak for themselves. One of the things I always say before I get into, why I'm doing it and how I came to Inspire, is that there's a lot of validated information out there. We always want to lead people to go to WebMD and look up some of these different diseases and things that have been caused by the current products that are out here. And I always say go to YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Cherish testimonials, and you will see literally thousands of women talking about the significant benefits that they've gained from using the Cherish. Want to kind of talk to you a little bit about what brought me to Inspire and why I'm out here on this campaign. Back in January, I got a video. Guy sent it to me. He said, "Greg, I know you're not looking for anything, but I just wanted to share." So basically, he was sharing the information with me, which was great. Naturally, I looked because I'm always open. And people have to understand, y'all, there's a lot of stuff out here. We always want to be open to receive, and sometimes we just so closed-minded, we just turn ourselves off from stuff that could actually potentially be very, very good for us. So always be open to receive. Get your information and then make your decision as to what you want to do. So I sat back and looked at the video, and one of the things that Damon Crump said while he was actually doing a church demonstration, he was talking at the same time. And he talked about how when he first saw the information, he didn't think of it as a business opportunity, which is how it was presented to him. He thought about his wife and his children and the suffering they had. And instantly when he said that, the first thing that occurred to me was how ignorant I was when I was raising my daughters as a single father. And I remember my daughters actually crying and begging me not to send them to school because they were hurting so bad. And in my ignorance, I said, no, you're going to school, you just don't want to go. And really, they were straight A students. So it wasn't like they were trying to not go to school. I was just ignorant to it. And in that moment, y'all, I got very emotional and I almost started crying because I realized, wow, I was actually ignorant to that, and I was actually putting my daughter in more pain because now they're in school realizing that my dad don't even care or understand. So when I then finished looking at the video, I immediately sent it to Jacqueline, you know, and I said, hey, I just want you to look at this video and tell me what you think. Didn't give her no information, just piqued her interest to say, in essence, do me a favor and look at this and tell me what you think. When Jacqueline called me back, she was like, wow. I said, yeah, same thing, because I guess she saw the same thing. And so then what we did is we started doing our due diligence. We started researching the company. We started Googling the leaders' names. We started Googling the doctors' names. We looked up this product. We Googled the different stuff that was in it that I never knew what that antibiotics was. So that's what you have to do. We made sure that we went through and did all of our due diligence. And then when we finished, then we called the guy. And I said, Lang, what does it take to get started? And at that time, it was free. He said, well, right now, you just register and you know, we're just trying to get formulated. I mean, because the company was just fresh off the presses. So I told Jacqueline, I said, I think we're onto something. So we immediately started registering, and then we just went under y'all and started sharing the campaign. So short time after that, we were told that the company was going to launch the weekend of March the 3rd. We was in the middle of February then. I'll never forget, I was actually in Atlanta. My daughter was getting married, and the guy called me. He said, Greg, he said, you gotta, it was something about getting re-registered because they came up with a new system. And if you don't get in today, you're gonna kind of be waiting. So immediately I'm driving, y'all, in Atlanta trying to get to the place. And, I'm talking to Land, you need a site name, and okay, hold on. And then I'm texting Jacqueline, and hey, Jacqueline, we begin. So, but anyway, we made it happen, y'all. And then when I got back from Atlanta, a funny thing happened. I had a meeting with my boss, and I made the decision to walk away from my job and do nothing but pursue this campaign and this opportunity. And I must say, it has been a ride. Everything that I wanted and more is what I've gotten out of this. Have met a whole lot of people. Again, did nothing but just led that campaign, y'all, and built a network of now over 1,000 people that I'm now touching and getting product to, and they're becoming customers and our distributors. So that's kind of like why I'm out here doing this. And like I say, y'all, it's a certain belief that I have in me. It's a lot of spiritual things that I can share with you that have been happening to where I know this is the right thing. But for me, this is it. And it was probably one of the best decisions that I could have made. So at this time, I guess I'll let Jacqueline come up and she can share her why, and then maybe roll into giving a little demonstration going so we can actually see how the Cherish works.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so yes, as Greg said, he had contacted me about that, and I took the liberty to take a look at the demo. And yes, my response was, wow. And I have to say that my first thought was about my daughter. When she was in high school and that time of the month came, she was in bed in a fetal position for several hours that first day of her cycle. So my mind immediately went to her and how now she would not have to suffer because of this awareness campaign and the things that the company has made us aware of. And so after, getting back to Greg and saying, yes, I like it, let's pursue this. And like he said, as far as getting the product, we were supposed to launch in March, didn't do anything till May. But when you have that vision, then nothing's gonna stop you, okay? And that's what we had with that vision, to know that we were in the right place at the right time, and that people needed to know. People needed to be aware. We needed to be troopers and pioneers to get out here on this Now We Know campaign and make people aware. of the harmful effects that the current sanitary napkin and tampons have on a woman's body. Okay, so that's my why and what went on initially when we got started. There's a little bit more to it, and I'll share that later. So what I want to do right now, though, is I'm going to step away from this podium and I'm going to walk over here and I'm going to do a demonstration. Okay, because seeing it on video is one thing, but when you actually are doing it live, people have more of a respect for it because they can see, wow, and they can come up and feel. Okay, so what I want to do first of all is I want to, this is the competitor pad. Okay, so ladies, this is Cherish. So what's the first thing that you notice about it? What are some of the things that you notice?
The size.
The size. Okay, this is a 10-hour pad. Okay, and it's thicker, as you can see. And of course, this is our Cherish. Okay? So, I'm going to, let's get this. But one of the other things, even before I open that and I didn't show you, this is supposed to be a sanitary napkin. However, this has little openings to where, you know, things can get in there when, you know, the ladies put it in their purse or whatever, you know, and it has a tendency for crumbs and different things, you know, to get in there. So that's their pad. And of course, here's ours. You take a look at that, it's totally sealed, okay? And there's the little tab there. So we're going to open that up. Okay, get that opened up. Now that I've done that, what's one of the other things that you can see about these?
Of course, the length, and then you've got the strip and the Cherish pad.
Absolutely.
And the wings.
Exactly. So it's the size, because this 10-hour pad longer than what our Cherish pad is. Okay? So we're going to take this off of there. Okay, so we're going to lay them both here, side by side. Okay, OBGYNs say that when a woman has her cycle, her feminine flow, okay, that she secretes 15 to 50 milliliters. Now we know some more, some less, but on average, 50 to 15, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, okay, so we're going to pour 50 milliliters in here. Okay, this is going to be the competitor. Can you validate for me that that's 50 milliliters there? Okay. All right, so this is competitor. Okay, and Cherish. Cherish is smaller, but I'm going to put 75 milliliters for that. Okay. So you were able to see the 50. Now, can you verify that that is much more than 50 in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so we have 75 milliliters here, 50 milliliters there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this 50 milliliters onto this pad. Okay. This 10-hour pad. Okay. All right. And Cherish, 75 milliliters. We're going to pour it on the smaller pad. Okay, now, like I said with the OBGYNs, and what's been said, company has found that the OBGYNs that they talk about a lot of different ailments and things that we as women have suffered throughout the years, okay, due to the chemicals and different things that are in the pads. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to do the whole wet test. All right, so here's the napkin, okay, so we're going to put that there, and I'm going to press on that. Am I pressing very hard, does it appear?
No.
Okay. And that's wet. Now, how many hours was that pad we said? 10-hour pad. Okay. Now, with this, ladies, as we're moving around our day, our busy work day, we're working, we're coughing, we're sneezing, okay? And on that time of the month when we're doing that, it's coming out, we're secreting it, okay? Now, here's the problem with that, with this pad. And that is that once you go to sit down, all the toxins and the different things that are supposed to come out, when you sit down, where do you think they go? Back up into your bloodstream. Okay, and so it's there, so it's backing up, so that's not good for you. Fibroids, tumors, potentially breast cancers. What's in that pad, those chemicals that are in there? Dioxin. Many of you are familiar with that. Okay, not good for you. Okay, so that is what is happening with our women of the world when they're wearing these pads that are currently on the market. Okay, now we have this, and you'll notice a press down there. Okay, so now we're going to press our pad. Pressing, pressing. Dry. Okay, now this pad being smaller, but yet it's holding, and I put how much on there?
75.
75, and we put 50 here. Okay? So now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down in reference to layers and talk to you a little bit about what these pads are made of. So we'll get the competitor pad here first. Okay? And we'll strip this away. Okay? This is rough. Feel how that is? Now, what's happening, that's that first layer. That's that first layer, ladies, that is rubbing up against your private area, and it's causing irritation. Not comfortable. And you wonder why, or people wonder why, even the men in our lives wonder why we're cranky. Hello? You know, that time of the month, okay? So that's what's going on with that, and that's not good. Okay, so that's that. Now let's break down the first layer of Cherish. Get this off of there. Oh yes, such a difference that will make. Cotton. Feel how soft that is? Very soft. And the other thing is, you can almost see through that. With the other one, no, you couldn't. Okay? And this little baby here is similar to the microchip to a computer. It's an algae strip. Negative ions. Okay? And with this, what it's doing, it's eating away at the bacteria. Because like I just said a few minutes ago, when you're sitting down and all that's going back up in you, that's what's happening. Okay, that's grounds for a lot of bacteria. However, with this negative ion strip, okay, that is part of our Cherish pad, it's a blessing to a lot of women. Okay, because it does. And that's what helps eliminate the cramps and the odor. And also, negative ions, put yourself in the mind when you're at the beach, or there's a waterfall, or after a rain. That's what this does. And that's where it comes in, where it talks about balancing your pH level and hormones. Do you hear anybody arguing or fighting at the beach? That's because they're in a wonderful state, and that's what that does. Okay? So, the last part, what I want to do is the absorbency system. Okay? So we're going to pour some water here in that one. I'm going to pour a little bit more into this one. Okay? Would you agree that the one on the right has more water than this one?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll set those down there. So, this is the absorbency system that's supposed to be our 10-hour. Okay, so we're going to put that in this water. Okay, and then we're going to put our Cherish in this water as well. Okay, push that down in there, that down in there. A little more in that one. Okay, now, let's talk about this last layer. Feel that. What does that feel like to you?
Just plastic.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Plastic. Trash bags. Okay? And the absorbency system that I just talked about, that is wood chips, trash. Don't mean your trash from your everyday landfill trash. That's what that absorbency system is made of. Okay? So now, this has been sitting there, but you can still see that there's water in here still. Oops, whoop, I even actually poured it out. But this one right here, it's absorbed. There isn't anything. Okay, so what little we have left in there, we can pour it in there, and it will absorb as well. Okay? So, Cherish is the way of the future for our young ladies in our life, whether it's wives, daughter, nieces, cousins, or your neighbor. And our job with Inspire Network is to go out and share our awareness campaign. Okay, and then that's what we're on a mission to do. Okay, so that's it for the demonstration.
Awesome.
Okay. What feedback do you have? Any questions about anything, product-wise? Any comments?
The absorbency system, seeing that front and center is very important because so many times, like you said, you see on the videos and you see it now and you can tell when you went to press, the 10-hour went down. It's like, what you doing? It didn't move. But when you did the Cherish, you was able to press it down. So it's telling me comfort, softness, you know. So that helps me to know, okay, I can be confident when I put that on my body, it's going to be comfort. Because you can even tell now it look like the 10 hours still just standing at attention.
Absolutely. And then also the cooling effect. Because if you want to feel, see, it's cool. And see, that has an effect as well, you know, when you are, you know, at that time of the month or whatever, and it's keeping you cool. And like I say, the whole negative ion strip thing is awesome. You know, it really is awesome, and it's a blessing, you know, for that time of the month for women coming up now. I always like to say the silent suffering is over, you know, and we take that information out there and we spread it from city to city, which is what we're, you know, continuing to do to be on our awareness campaign. Any other questions, comments about anything? Okay.
I do.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Well, because of age, am in the company of a lot of older ladies.
Yes.
So the sanitary napkins, Cherish. So you talked about the cycle part, the other part with like incontinence, or
yes,
for the older ladies, can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's the absorbency, and you saw the absorbency, and so share a testimony that one of our corporate leaders had shared, and that was a lady in Houston, Texas, who wanted to test the limits of our Cherish pad. And what that individual did was she wore that pad for 24 hours straight, okay, just to prove, okay, to herself and to share that story. No odor, no cramps at that time, as far as any leakage, none of that. So in reference to the incontinence, it's an awesome product to substitute for that. We have several individuals. I will actually have a couple of customers, because there's several events that I was at, and they ask about that. And then when I followed up with them, they love it, yes, and became a customer in reference to that. So we'll do that, a substitute for that, and of course it's less invasive. So, okay. All right, thank you for your attention. Greg, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, Jacqueline. That's an outstanding job, y'all. My voice is not as strong as Jacqueline, so I got to use the microphone. What we're going to do now, y'all, is we're going to talk about some of our nutraceuticals, and we actually have a campaign. It's called, A Right to Fight. And basically, I want to start off by talking about prostate cancer being the most common cancer among men, except for skin cancer. Last year, an estimated 161,000 plus men in the United States alone were diagnosed with prostate cancer. And for some unknown reason, the risk of prostate cancer is 74% higher in black men than in non-Hispanic white men. Doctors Richard and Stephen Minat, those are the urologists that are part of Inspire's Medical Advisory Board, and they're the masterminds behind our line of nutraceutical products. So what I'm going to do is share with you some of the ones that I've actually used, kind of tell you what I've gotten from them, give you some of the key ingredients and the key benefits so that you can see. And we also want to say, ladies, please encourage your men. You know, definitely just get them out there to start making sure that they're being healthy, that they're going to the doctor and they're not afraid to tell you what's going on with them. That's one thing about men with some of this ego. They just try to deal with it. And I'll tell you, I just had a gentleman, it's not a friend of mine, but someone gave me the story when I was out there sharing the campaign, a young lady, her brother. He's actually dying as we speak. And she said he just refused to go to the doctor. He just didn't want to go out. I don't want him to tell me some bad news. And then by not going, when he got the bad news that he prophesied. We got to get out there, y'all, and get these men to understand that, you know, you have a say-so in your health. That's right. And you just have to be honest with these medical professionals. But the first nutraceutical I want to talk about is our Max Life Prostate Care Plus. It's a revolutionary and complete prostate formula initially created by physicians for their patients. But it's now available to anyone exclusively through Inspire distributors. Some of the key ingredients, again, I say to you, look these ingredients up. Go and Google them and you will see just what it is. But some of the key ingredients are beta sitosterol. I may not pronounce this stuff correctly. It's one of the most important ingredients in Mother Nature's medicine cabinet. Okay, and I want to say something real quick about our nutraceuticals, because it's a lot of things that people will get asked out there as distributors, and we don't really know what to say. And I want y'all to really be educated on it so we'll know what to say to them. So, for example, the first thing somebody might say to you, well, is that FDA approved? No, it's not. See, the first thing you want to say, yeah, it is. It's not, y'all. And the reason why it's not is because it's natural. See, so there's your answer to it. No, it's not FDA approved. Well, if it ain't FDA approved, then look good. No, it's because it's natural. It doesn't have to be. See, that's your answer to them. So don't be afraid of that. It's also got saw palmetto, and that has been shown in studies to diminish the prostate's inner lining, to reduce pressure on the structures that carry urine outside the body, thereby making urination easy and comfortable. As a man, I can tell you, and I'm in my mid-50s, What happens as we get older is just like he said, when you're younger, you're a kid, you can't hardly get to the restroom and it's coming out in a stream. But as you become older, it gets to where you're pushing and it ain't coming. It's dripping, then you leave, and then as soon as you get somewhere, now here it's coming. You know, so that's how Palmetto actually gets it to where you're a little bit more natural in that feeling. Then they've got something called quercetin. It's a natural anti-swelling and anti-inflammation agent to reduce prostate symptoms. Typically, what's the first thing you hear? A man's prostate is enlarged. You see how this helps to keep that from happening? And then the last ingredient is lycopene. And that's considered one of the most powerful antioxidants in the world and has a number of potential health benefits. It also may help reduce blood pressure, promote healthy prostate, skin, and bones, and also may help reduce bad cholesterol levels. Look at all of that significant health benefit. And when we talk about key benefits, it may increase energy, may enhance sexual drive and performance, it may boost your metabolism, may increase exercise training muscle health, and it also may increase muscle. So that is an extremely benefit. So while I'm looking for the next nutraceutical, I just want to talk to you about the prostate care. I actually was diagnosed with an enlarged prostate. I'm a military vet, so at the VA hospital, and they prescribed me some medicine that was to help shrink it. Now, I remember, when the doctor first told me that, the question I had was, well, I don't take pills. I ain't taking none, I'm afraid of them, y'all. I already know that all of the current prescriptions, they have side effects. So I don't want to take something for my prostate and it gives me a brain tumor. So I was very adamant about that. So I said to the doctor, I said, so what's the alternative to me taking these prescription drugs? And he said, well, we can do surgery, Greg. And he told me about that procedure. And I said, go on and give me the prescription. Because I ain't having no kind of surgery. But anyway, y'all, I started taking them, and believe it or not, y'all, it worked. It shrunk it. My flow started getting better. I mean, all of that. But I still knew, y'all, that it was a prescription drug. So when Inspire came out with Max Life Pro Life, then the first thing I did, y'all, was I stopped taking the prescription drugs, and I've been taking it ever since, and I actually feel even better. So I'm an actual testimony that this stuff has got me feeling just like I need to be feeling. But most importantly to me, I'm not now having to worry about the side effects of the other prescription drugs. So that's just my testimony on the Max Life. Now the next one.
Is that a daily pill?
I take 2 capsules a day, and you typically get a 2-month supply of it. So I'm actually about through with that, and then I've already got my next one on the way. So this is what I'm now going to take in lieu of the prescription drugs. It's just me trying to be very, very concerned about my health. Yes, ma'am.
And what age do they recommend a male to start taking this pill?
I don't know if they actually gave a specific age, but I would say anyone middle age. I'm going to say when she gets starting to be about your 40s. And up, because I know for me, I never had any problems, y'all, but I just noticed when I got in my 50s, I was struggling. And see, I'm a very honest guy, so I had no problem, and my doctor's a female doctor, but I had no problem telling her what I was going through. Then she sent me to the urologist, where they then told me what was going on and gave me those options. So for me, I was in my 50s, but I would say a man probably getting in his 40s. But these are natural supplements, so really they can start taking them at any time, and it might actually preclude them from even getting an enlarged prostate, at all. But that's a very, very good question.
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you transition over to natural from the chemical medication, was it a period that you stopped, or you just went over and started with the next?
Yeah, what I did is I just immediately stopped taking the prescription and just started taking the Max Life. I mean, for me, I just said, one thing I knew is that if I kept taking that, I was going to still suffer from the side effects. And some of the side effects to the prescription is actually a decreased sex drive. Well, I wasn't trying to have mine decreased. So I was like, as soon as I can. So I got off of it. And like I say, I just started taking this. And then again, y'all, within probably 2 or 3 days, I started feeling even more different. And again, it could have been just me mentally thinking that because of me now taking the Max Life, but a lot of that has a lot to do with your health as well.
Yeah.
You know, your mindset. Yeah, so I was open and I was like, wow. So I attributed it the way I feel now to that.
I know with the chemicals and with the naturals, when you just start with the natural, it takes a longer period to start
Getting into your system, yeah, and working for you.
So that's why I was asking, because that question will come up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I wanted to know, was there time span?
Right, and everybody's gonna be different. I'm gonna tell y'all about, like I say, some of these other ones that I've taken, but my thing is for me, within about 4 days, I actually could tell an even more difference. Like I say, I did with the prescription drugs. I had a little bit of pressure. I mean, nothing that was anything like I was having, but it was something there. Well, now that's gone. I feel pretty much very, very much more natural now. And like I say, everything else seems to be better. So for me, it could be just me thinking that because I'm not taking this, but I like to say that the result of this is what's getting me there. And see, one thing I don't want to do is stop taking it to the end, see if I'm going to, so I'm just keep taking it as long as I'm feeling like this. I think it's going to, because it's getting more and more in my system, so I should start ultimately feeling probably even better, and I feel probably about the best that I have since I've been taking it. Okay, it's good questions, y'all. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is our Empower Testosterone Boost, and this has all the critical nutrients needed to help support healthy testosterone levels for any man. It says, regain that youthful confidence you once had and experience renewed energy and vigor. Now, I'm not a guy that does a lot of health stuff, but my goal for 2018 was to be a little bit more health conscious, so I'm now starting to run. I'm actually trying to get in shape for our 5K that's going to be held in Orlando in February. So I'm starting to run. I'm actually going to start skating again. So for me, the testosterone boost was a way for me to now start, again, build my testosterone levels. I never really feel sluggish or anything, but what I did notice is that I seem to be a little bit tired. I was always kind of more tired than I thought I should have been based on my activity. But since I started taking the testosterone boost, it was the same thing. It appeared that I got a little bit more energy is what I attribute that to. And again, because I think I was taking the Max Life prostate care along with this, they were both working hand in hand, the different ingredients enhancing my whole system. And some of the ingredients that are in the testosterone boost, there's something called, it's DHEA. It says it's an excellent alternative to straight testosterone replacement shots, because that's what a lot of men are getting. They're having to get shots, y'all, to boost the levels of the hormones that stimulate testosterone production. DHEA is a hormone that is made in the adrenal gland and testes, which changes into testosterone in men. Absolutely phenomenal. L-citrulline is an amino acid that provides many benefits for men's health, including increasing blood flow for better erection results, best known for boosting sexual health once in the body. It converts to another amino acid called arginine, which has been shown in studies to promote higher testosterone levels without causing the negative side effects that men experience with testosterone replacement, which is those shots. Again, the shots are not natural. And then the last one is Tongate Ali, is the most studied male testosterone booster today, found in the Malaysian rainforest. Tongate Ali, also known as Urocoma longfolia jack, has been proven to increase the production of free testosterone and help maintain a strong sex drive, potency, muscle mass and strength, fat distribution, bone mass, and sperm production. Now, some of the key benefits to the testosterone boost may increase energy. As I said, y'all, I was feeling a little bit sluggish and tired, and definitely my energy level's higher. May enhance sexual drive and performance, speaks for itself. May boost metabolism. May increase exercise training muscle health, and may increase muscle. So remember, I'm now starting to exercise And what I noticed last night was, as out of shape as I felt like I was actually able to complete my goal of the run that I had set up for myself. I was pretty wore out, but again, you know, the recovery from that seemed to not be too bad. I actually, you know, finished my run. I walked a little bit out, just came in, drank my water, and I must say I had one of the best nights of sleep that I had. So I do feel like that testosterone boost is what's giving me that extra energy. Now, the last product that I want to talk about in terms of nutraceutical, and then I'll turn it over to Jacqueline, is our Taboo for Him male sexual enhancement. And I'll share with you guys that, again, even though I'm middle-aged, I don't suffer right now from any type of dysfunction. I haven't. But what I did when I got the Taboo, you know, I still wanted to kind of validate it, so it's recommended that men take 4 capsules a day until they get it into their system, and then naturally you will start backing off of it from then until you got to a level of acceptance for yourself. What I did is I just decided I would just take 1. Actually, the day I got them, I took 1, you know, because I just wanted to see, is it going to do anything? And I actually felt a little bit of a difference off of the 1. And so I realized, I said, instead of me now just taking it like that, you know, 4 days stuff, I felt like, you know, I'm going to still get it in my system. So I started taking like 1 every other day, just to try to give myself some semblance of it. And my results speak for themselves. So what I did is, you know, I wanted to get other men to validate it. So Jacqueline and I had done a radio spot, and the guys at the radio station, I gave them some. And one of the guys actually got on the radio and validated for him that it worked. He's a guy a little bit older than I am. And then the light bulb went off, and I said, well, I'm over at the barbershop with all these men that are talking about these problems, y'all. Now, you know, they don't talk about the symptoms. They talk about how great they are. And see, I'm real with it, so I'll be like, well, look, I go through this and that. Then they'll start coming, being honest and saying what they're going through. So when I went to the barbershop with the Taboo and started giving them to the men, you know, I gave some of them 8, because I mean, I'm talking some of these guys, like the head barber, he's like in his late 60s. Man, he was, you know, again, they take it to the side, and he said, man, you know, first everybody don't want to take them. I don't need them, Greg. And then they give one, Greg, give me 8 of them, you know. Yeah. Because they try to be, you know, these macho men. You know, I just smiled at it, but I spread it around to all of those different men at the barbershop, y'all. And you know, once I went back to start validating, several of them have been buying the Taboo from me. Some of them want to just, hey, can you just send me a few capsules? I don't want to do it like that, but I will, because like I say, for them, they look at, oh, it's $90 a bottle, and they think that's too much. Again, y'all, it's 240 capsules, and that's a 90-day supply. So I have to try to break that down for them. But the bottom line is now when I go to the barbershop, I've actually got other men now. Hey, man, you the guy that's got that? Yeah, sure do. And like I say, y'all, the big thing with it is that it's natural. And that's what I told them. A lot of these guys can't take Viagra and some of the other stuff because of the issues with it. So like I told them, you can have high blood pressure, diabetes, and you can still take this. So see, for me, that's been a great thing. So just wanted to kind of give y'all some personal before I go into some of the information. But anyway, Taboo for Him male sexual enhancement is formulated using a natural composition designed to maximize sexual health. And it says, men, get ready to take your relationship to the next level. And trust me, y'all, I've had some of those men over there tell me, you know, there's been some significant difference, you know, with the wives. Okay, so it also has the L-citrulline. Again, it's naturally converted to nitric oxide, the same compound used in expensive prescription alternatives. This action may increase blood flow for added firmness on demand. Here's how Taboo works, just so you guys know, because it's not like Viagra. Typically, Viagra, when the men take it, they can't control it, y'all. So they can be in church, they can be kids, anything, and it just starts working. With the Taboo for Him, it works when you're stimulated. See, that's better. It's kind of like on demand. It's like, okay, and then, okay, now I'm done. So that's much, much better. It just doesn't put you in those uncomfortable situations that a couple of men told me they were in, that were taking Viagra. Viagra, and then again, they had to stop taking the Viagra because it was starting to give them some other problems. Okay, and then it also has Korean red ginseng, and that has remarkable natural power and may increase stamina and may decrease fatigue. And then the last one is maca, and that may improve sexual desire in men and may increase sexual potency. Now, key benefits to taboo: may increase blood flow for better firmness, because that's typically the problem that the men are having. It's designed to be an all-natural men's daily sexual supplement. So again, that natural piece, it doesn't hurt you. May increase passion and energy for sexual activity. May enhance performance and arousal. And it may increase drive, stamina, and pleasure. So what I want to just key in on, y'all, again, when you're out here talking about these men that are trying to be macho men, and you can give them something that actually is going to help them in that area, trust me, y'all, I'm a lot of those guys' best friends. And other than the guys at the barbershop, I've shared it with a couple of men that are just friends of mine, you know, very, very close guys, call them my brothers, you know, same thing. One of the guys, he's got the diabetes to where he shoots insulin with the needle. So he's suffering with that real bad. He said he just has some issues over the years. And I gave him the taboo, and it worked for him. He actually ordered 2 bottles. He said he ain't running out. And then the other guy, a very close friend of mine, lives in Miami, and he had surgery. So he's been not able to perform, and he said, Greg, there's nothing I can take because all the stuff. And I said, well, I got something natural. I said, I want you to try it. And I actually got him a bottle and sent it to him, and it worked for him. So he sent me the money. He said, man, I'm going to be getting it. So what I'm saying, y'all, those are actual, real testimonies of men. And unlike last year, I've been so busy pushing Cherish. We've kind of gotten away from pushing these nutraceuticals that I'm actually a testimony of. But starting this year, that's going to be one of my main focuses. Is starting to go out here and try to educate men about what's going on with them out here, and hope to get them to start opening up and being a little bit more responsible to their health as well, and hopefully start taking advantage of some of what we have to offer in terms of natural products. At this time, I'll bring Ms. Jacqueline back up and let her talk about a couple of our other products, and you know, we'll then stop, take a little short break, and then we'll go into some more of our business activity and some of the things that some of the distributors are going to need in terms of helping to grow the business. Ms. Jacqueline?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Awesome information. I can't say that I have as many testimonies as Mr. Sistrunk, but what I will do is I'll start out talking about Sweetest for Her. So if you caught that, they got the taboo for men and the Sweetest for Her. So we have Sweetest taboo going on. Okay? So the Sweetest is a female sexual energy. One of the first formulas for women suffering from sexual dysfunction. You know, it's always about men, and you know, they got the Viagra on the market, Cialis, and different things. Have you heard them talking about anything on the market for the women? Okay, well, Inspire has that for us. So it's been formulated to help women, help us women get back on track with our sexual health. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the some of the ingredients. I'll probably chop up some of these pronunciations, but L-citrulline. What that does is it converts the nitric oxide, which may increase the blood flow, okay, with the women. And then the L-theanine, it may reduce stress and help with enjoyment and satisfaction. I mean, who wouldn't want something for health, you know, for the stress, right? And then Korean red ginseng, with that particular ingredient, it increases sexual energy and it decreases fatigue, okay? Maca, which is one of the last ingredients, may improve sexual desire in women, and it may increase pleasure. And so some of the benefits is it increases the passion, the performance, your stamina, and pleasure as well. In reference to that particular product, I do have a testimony in reference to that. I mean, I have been taken sweetest, probably, so we got our product in July, probably I think in August or September or whatever. And so as far as the stamina, the pleasure, the enjoyment, and a lot of times when we get a certain age, we may be a little dry or whatever there. So it does as far as, you know, keep you energized in that, in reference to that, and not as dry. So I will say that in reference to that. Now I want to share a testimony that one of the young ladies posted on our Dare to Inspire page, had to do with hot flashes. Okay, and again, that's not something that Inspire, you know, is backing. Again, different testimonies about different things that the product do as individuals, and we share those testimonies. Okay, so it has been said that it helps with that as well. Our other nutraceutical is Total Recall. Okay, Total Recall contains 5 of the best known mental enhancements to brighten our brain function, but it also restores our brain power of the earlier years. And it's formulated for ages 18 to 85. And some of the key ingredients here is Asian herb, which that is a natural brain tonic, to improve the memory and the mental focus. And it contains natural phytonutrients known as bacillicides, okay, that may help with the nerve cell repair. Now the Korean red ginseng, that really is an awesome one because that's in several of our nutraceuticals. And it contains genocides that may decrease amyloids, which is a beta peptide that's built up as far as Alzheimer's patients. And so, okay, this thing is talking to me. There we go. Sorry about that. But anyway, the peptide that builds up in Alzheimer's patients. And then another ingredient is hyperzine. With that, it may increase blood flow to the brain. And then vitamin E. And so with that vitamin E, it gives the brain the needed antioxidant protection. Okay, and a healthy intake of vitamin E may prevent or slow the cognitive decline as the brain ages. And the last ingredient is the saffron extract. And with that, that may improve your overall mood. So Total Recall, definitely as far as the memory, but the mood. And so if you noticed, a lot of the different ingredients and the results that you can get from our nutraceuticals help as far as your mood, as far as your drive, your stamina overall. And so if you haven't had an opportunity to get the products, you know, then by all means, you know, purchase them, see for yourself. There's more testimonies out there on YouTube as well, but also with Inspire business partners in reference to some of their testimonies in reference to what the nutraceuticals have done and will continue to do for them. Okay? So that concludes the first half of our session, unless Greg has something to add.
No, I don't.
Okay, so appreciate your time, and that concludes. So, thank you.